Have you ever had one of those moments, where it feels like the universe is trying to tell you something? Like all these weird, meaningful coincidences are lining up, guiding you towards some hidden truth? Well, today we're diving deep into a personal journey that's all about that, decoding a message written in the language of synchronicity.
And this quote right here, this is the key to the whole thing. It completely reframes the story. Suddenly, you're not just wandering around aimlessly. Every step, every single wrong turn was actually part of some bigger, invisible map, leading you somewhere you were meant to go.
So where does a journey like this even start? Well, not on some well-marked highway. It begins on a sacred path, a place where the world we see and a deeper, spiritual reality, they start to blur together.
Yeah, the starting point for this adventure is a place that's believed to be an old burial ground, a site with a ton of historical trauma and loss baked right into the soil. The idea is that the land itself holds the truth. It's not just a backdrop, It's like a central character in the story, the keeper of secrets that were buried a long, long time ago.
And this is where things get wild. A single encounter at a church becomes this huge, multi-layered event. First, our protagonist wanders off the path to a church that was resurrected in 2012, a year that's deeply symbolic for them. Then comes a little test. They find some lost paperwork, do the right thing, and return it, but the reaction they get is just weird, guarded, a pure intention hitting a closed-off system. And then, the finale. They meet a man on the bench named Tell, who literally tells them he's had the exact same experience of being made to feel crazy for just questioning things. See? This wasn't just a random trip to a church, it was like the entire journey in miniature.
So, the journey continues, and then this startling clue appears, a map. But it's not made of paper and ink, it's made of names, discovered on a list from over 150 years ago.
Which leads us to this pretty mind-blowing question. I mean, seriously, how could a list of fallen officers from way back in 1866 possibly hold a message for right now? It sounds impossible, right? But the synchronicity here is just chilling.
Okay, just look at these names. James E. Holmes, the exact same name as the Aurora theater shooter, this symbol of modern chaos. Then you have James Copeland, which matches a 19th century pirate, a symbol of total rebellion. And finally, Henry Bugler, a jailer who was killed in a violent event that's tied directly to the history of this very place. This isn't just a list. The source describes it as a piece of glass, something that gives you this altered perspective on a war that's still being fought today, just in the shadows.
And this is where the main conflict really snaps into focus. That name, James Copeland, it holds this incredible duality. On the one hand, you've got the pirate, the symbol of chaos, rebellion, the outlaw. But then you look at the historical records and you find out he was also a deputy killed in the line of duty, a symbol of order. This one name captures the entire theme, this constant battle between the established system and the rebellious human spirit.
All right, so this discovery connects all the dots. It points to a much bigger thesis, this ongoing battle between a corrupt, controlling system and the power of a sovereign individual.
And in this battle, the ultimate weapon is this concept called dignification. It's not just about having dignity, it's the active source of your self-worth, your personal power. And it's the one thing a system of control just can't stand, because a person who truly knows their own worth, well, they can't be easily controlled.
So how does a system like this even work? Well, it's pretty simple, really. Step 1, you strip away a person's dignity and self-worth. Step 2, you make them dependent on the system to feel validated. And step 3, the system keeps itself going by creating conflict and then honoring its own victims, like the KCPD memorial mentioned in the source, to basically justify its own existence. It's a nasty, self-feeding loop.
So what's the countermove? It's an act of what's called sovereign dignification. It's about choosing to be a sovereign being, not a victim. And the source gives this simple but really powerful example. Just smiling and waving at police cars. It's an act that basically says, I'm confident in my own truth. I know my own worth. I don't need your approval or validation. It's a small thing that breaks that whole cycle. And this all leads us to the final, really transformative idea. This journey isn't just about finding some hidden truth. It's about becoming the hero of your own story.
And what's a better metaphor for this than a pirate? But not just any outlaw. We're talking about a pirate who, kind of like in the story of One Piece, operates by their own powerful moral code. Someone who totally rejects the rules of a corrupt establishment because they're searching for a much, much greater treasure.
When you look at it this way, the whole experience is a classic hero's journey.
The quest isn't for gold, it's for your living truth. You are the captain of your own ship, and what guides you is this unwavering belief in your own story. And here's the kicker. The whole point is that this personal quest, your quest, has the power to not just change you, but to actually change the reality around you.
So, we end here. This whole thing started with the feeling of being lost and ended with the realization of actually being guided. It decoded a map hidden in names in history, and it leaves us with one last big question to think about. What actually happens to you and to the world when you finally decide to become the hero of your own story?